What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we're now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows? Maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of next month, which is basically the end of the year. Only time will tell. But as I have said, excuse me, as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set. But it wouldn't be the first time that I pulled a collector's rare, because I also pulled this. Freshly pulled out of my Genesis Impact box opening that I did a few months back is this beauty right here, a collector's rare B-Cup from the Underworld. This thing is absolutely beautiful. The centering on the back is a bit off from top to bottom, but honestly, it really doesn't make much of a damn. I am going to be getting this card graded at some point, but I never really came up with a good opportunity to do so. But with that being said, excuse me, with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It'll also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which ties into this week's episode, which is this: on a scale of 1 star to 5 stars, how would you rate Survivor Series? Let me know down in the comments below, because for this week's episode, it is going to be an in-depth review of none other than the annual Survivor Series. This edition, War Games. And honestly, excuse me, honestly, I find it interesting though, because last year's War Games was pretty unique. It was pretty interesting to say the very least. I mean, we had Becky Lynch, Mia Yim, Asuka, Alexa Bliss, and Bianca Belair against all 3 members of Damage Control, which were obviously at that time Bayley, Io Sky, Dakota Kai, along with Nikki Cross and the Judgment Day's Rhea Ripley. So think about that. And then, of course, too, that was just the women's War Games match. The men's War Games match, ooh, it was hella crazy. The Bloodline, Roman Reigns, the Usos, Solo Sikoa, and Sami Zayn against the Brawling Brutes, Kevin Owens, and Drew McIntyre back when he was a babyface. This year's War Games was interesting, and we kick it off with the women, and we kick off Survivor Series with the women's War Games match that featured Damage Control, Bayley, Io Sky, And get this, the Kabuki Warriors. Yes, Asuka and Kairi Sane have now joined Damage Control, taking on Team Bianca, which was Bianca Belair, Shotzi, Charlotte Flair, and of all people, Becky Lynch. Which you would think that the animosity between Charlotte and Becky would have imploded. You think it would have imploded at Survivor Series, but it didn't. It did not. They were able to coexist, which is kind of funny. But the order of entry went as follows: Becky Lynch, Bayley, Shotzi, Io Sky, Bianca Belair, Kairi Sane, Charlotte Flair, Asuka. That was the order of entry in which I guess both these teams I guess decided on. I'm not really sure, but yeah, Becky was able to enter War Games first because her team was able to gain the War Games advantage via the kickoff show as voted by the entire WWE universe. And this was pretty much everything that we had expected. Personally, though, I kind of figured that there would have been a fifth member from both teams. You know, obviously in the form of Dakota Kai, you know, for Damage Control, and then for Team Bianca, I don't know. I guess maybe someone like I don't know. I guess maybe Raquel Rodriguez, maybe. I mean, could have been Raquel, I would say it could have been Zelina Vega or something in the like, but yeah, Zelina Vega and Mia Yim both got taken out by Damage Control. So I mean 4-on-4, it is what it is. That was basically the typical like War Games match from like back in the days of NXT, but this was absolutely insane. We saw kendo sticks, we saw chairs, we literally saw everything. And one thing that also caught my eye was the fact that we were expecting Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch to implode on one another and Damage Control wins. Because because I even said it in my prediction video on this past Wednesday, that just because you were able to receive the War Games advantage doesn't mean that you're gonna win War Games, because whoever gets the advantage, the opposing team wins. This time, it was literally different. It was different because in spite of the fact that Bayley became the MVP of War Games, excuse me, she basically took the bullet for Damage Control and lost in the closing moments. Yeah, you heard me right. In the closing moments, she got hit with a spear from Charlotte Flair, a senton from Shotzi, in which she calls, I think the ball pit, I think was the name of that senton, a KOD from Bianca Belair, and then from the second rope on through a table, a manhandle slam from Becky Lynch, and Damage Control lost for the second year in a row inside War Games, which now begs the question, what's next? Where does Damage Control go from here? At this point, it's hard to say, because it's been literally 48 hours since Survivor Series, and there's been a lot of speculation that Bayley could be kicked out of Damage Control, in which case it would be Io Sky, Asuka, Kairi Sane, and Dakota Kai, which honestly, Bayley becoming a babyface again after all these years, I think would definitely do her justice, because let's be real, the heel Bayley, when she was champion, it worked out so perfectly. But over the course of the last, I want to say year and a half, I would say it just hasn't been working. So I think a nice change of pace for Bayley could do her justice, but we'll definitely have to see this coming this Friday on SmackDown. But honestly though, crazy matchup, absolutely chaotic. 4 stars easy. Could this match have ended differently? I mean, at this point, it's hard to say, because when you think about it, ever since Bianca Belair lost the now WWE Women's title to Asuka, she's gone back to her winning ways, to her undefeated streak, if you will, and honestly, Bianca Belair has done so well over the course of the last few years, leading into Night of Champions, and we fast forward to now. War Games with Team EST, Team Bianca, they won, but could Damage Control have won? It's possible if they were able to somehow find a way to isolate Team Bianca from one another. But if they had a plan like Team Bianca did, hands down, yes, they would have won. But honestly, there's no way, no shot that Damage Control was going to win. But next up, we've got the Intercontinental title matchup between Gunther and The Miz. Funny enough, Miz took Gunther to the absolute limit. A lot of people can't. A lot of the superstars that Gunther has faced are never able to tell that tale that this guy Gunther, I kicked his ass, I took him to the limit, but he still beat me. A lot of people can't really say that. Guys like Ricochet, even though yes he did take Gunther to the limit a little bit, it was technically a squash match. So you got guys like Braun Strowman, Bronson Reed, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre, Shinsuke Nakamura. Those guys took Gunther to the absolute limit. And The Miz can now become one of those men that said that he took Gunther to the limit. And he literally did. Literally, not only did Miz isolate the legs, to try and set up for a figure 4, but Miz said it best last week on Raw, on the go home episode, before Survivor Series. He said it best that he would do whatever it takes to win, and he did. He did whatever it took. Not only did he isolate the legs, he was able to rip the turnbuckle off of literally ripped it off the turnbuckle padding from the buckle itself, kicked Gunther low, hit him with a skull crushing finale, and not even that was enough. He pushed him into the turnbuckle, hit him again, still nothing. And that was basically that was the moment Gunther was like, you know what? I'm done. I can't deal with this anymore. Boom, Boston Crab. Boston Crab made The Miz tap out. This basically proves that excuse me, this basically proves that there's at least one person that can try to take the title off of Gunther, but there's like I don't think anybody's gonna be able to take the title off of him until like I don't know, potentially WrestleMania perhaps, which that would be interesting. I don't think I've ever seen one person hold the Intercontinental title for so long to the extent that they're defending the title at WrestleMania 2 years in a row. Now the Universal Championship, that's one thing. Obviously, Brock Lesnar, within 3 title reigns, not only won the title, but defended it 2 years running. Back-to-back WrestleManias in 2018 and in 2019, which is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. So this matchup, 3 stars, hands down. I think if there was an alternate way for Miz to win, I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch, but to be fair, Gunther is at a point where he's not just doing it for the sake of professional wrestling. He's doing this for the sake of the title itself. And what I mean by that is he's trying to put honor back into the title that a guy like a guy like Ricochet or a guy like Shelton Benjamin, he believes, Gunther believes that guys like Shelton Benjamin, guys like Kurt Angle, guys like Cody Rhodes, have tainted its legacy, if you will. But the way I see it, Miz brought honor into that title in spite of how he won all those matches as the Intercontinental Champion. He brought honor into that title, and all Gunther's doing is restoring its legacy, if you will, sort of. Could this match have ended differently? At this point, it's hard to say, because you look at Gunther, and let's be real. Think about this. He hasn't been pinned since I want to say since NXT TakeOver 36. He hasn't been pinned or made to submit since then. So he's had quite a bit of success from that point moving up until now. So I don't know. It's a bit of a stretch, but I don't think there was any way Miz was gonna win, in my honest opinion. But next up, we got Santos Escobar versus Dragon Lee. Honestly, this was a squash match, and I say that because when it comes to a match like Survivor Series, you think that all 5 matches would have been bangers. This is the only one that wasn't a banger. This was like one of the worst matches I had ever seen. But this is Santos Escobar we're talking about here. And Santos has left the LWO because of the fact that Rey Mysterio brought in guys like Savio Vega, guys like Carlito, and guys like Bad Bunny into the LWO. And here's the funny thing. Here's the funny thing. All 3 of those men have one thing in common with Santos Escobar. The love and respect, not just for Rey Mysterio, but for what the LWO did to professional wrestling back in the old WCW days. Yet Santos turned his back on the entire LWO out of jealousy. And Santos said some things to Carlito that let's just say it was a bit too prerogative, I guess would be the proper term. But honestly, though, I think I think this match, the way it ended, could have been better, but Santos Escobar was able to defeat Dragon Lee with the Phantom Driver, in spite of trying to rip the mask off of Dragon Lee. I'm only gonna give this two stars because of how good Santos Escobar is. Um, there was given the fact that this is a new path for Santos. There was no other like way for this match to go. There was like no other way. But next up, Rhea Ripley, Zoe Stark for the women's world title. Here's the thing: you look at Zoe Stark and you think about one thing. Her being trained by none other than the Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. And Trish was a dominant champion. Everyone knows how dominant Trish Stratus was. You know, when she was competing in WWE full time, you know, back in the days of the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era. During those days, she was a dominant champion. She was the only person to win the women's championship 7 times. Now you've got women like Charlotte Flair. You've got women like Becky Lynch, women like Asuka, who are winning more than 7 championships in a single career. Which, if that doesn't prove that a woman like Becky and a woman like Charlotte and a woman like Asuka are the greatest of all time, I don't know what the definition is. Because Zoe Stark learned so much from Trish, and she decided to break out on her own, leave Trish Stratus, and now she's at it on her own, and this proved it. Survivor Series was the proof, because she not only did she win a Battle Royal a few weeks ago on Raw, she went into Survivor Series and took Rhea Ripley to the absolute limit. I don't think I've ever seen anyone take Rhea Ripley to the limit like Zoe Stark has done. Like, ever since Rhea became champion at WrestleMania, there have only been a few people who have took her to the limit. Raquel Rodriguez is one. Nia Jax is another. And Charlotte Flair is the third. I would consider Zoe Stark to be the fourth. But it wasn't enough. Literally, Rhea Ripley threw everything at Zoe Stark. Zoe threw everything at Rhea, and it still was not enough. But this match proved that Zoe Stark is championship material. She has what it takes. She has the tools. She's able to apply herself, if you will. But Zoe Stark still needs a bit more direction, we'll say. And if she's able to take that direction, take that path, if you will, and take it to heights unimaginable, then there's no doubt in my mind that Zoe Stark will be a champion. But all it took was a single riptide for Rhea Ripley to defeat Zoe Stark and retain the Women's World Championship. Hell of a match. Absolutely incredible. This match proved that Zoe Stark has arrived in WWE on Raw. 4 stars. Hands down 4 stars. Absolutely incredible. I will say this, though. With how dominant Rhea Ripley has been this entire year, I don't know, maybe, no, I don't think there could have been any other way that this match could have gone, unless if Zoe Stark was able to find a weakness within Rhea Ripley, then maybe she could have exploited it, but there was no way that it was going to go down. No shot whatsoever. Sorry, guys. So, I apologize if my camera is moving. I was writing something down in my book here. But now we move into the main event of Survivor Series War Games, being the men's War Games match. And this was basically the... And here's the thing. You want to talk about the women's War Games match being the All-Star match? This right here, the men's War Games match, was the ultimate all-star match. You had all the members of Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest, the undisputed tag team champions, JD McDonough, and the NXT North American champion Dominic Mysterio, and their War Games teammate Drew McIntyre against Team Rhodes, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes, the World Heavyweight Champion Seth freaking Rollins, main event Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and get this, the return of Randy Orton after 18 months. Absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Now, the order of entry went as follows. Because that Drew McIntyre got the advantage for the Judgment Day, the order of entry went as follows. Finn Balor, Seth freaking Rollins, JD McDonough, main event Jey Uso, Damian Priest, Sami Zayn, Drew McIntyre, Cody Rhodes, Dominic Mysterio, and the Viper Randy Orton. Yeah, Randy Orton entered War Games last, and this was absolutely incredible. Think about this. You've got Finn Balor, who has held the Universal Championship once. He's held the NXT title twice. He's held the United States title. He's held the Intercontinental title twice. And he's held the tag team titles twice. Damian Priest, NXT North American champion. United States champion. 2-time tag team champion. All 10 of these men have a combined total of over 55 championships across everything that they have done in their entire careers, across Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. And here's the funny thing. You want to know what's funny? Out of all 10 of these men, the only four superstars that never, actually, let me rephrase it, the only 5 that never got their start in NXT, that never started their WWE careers in NXT were Dominic Mysterio, Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Jey Uso, and Cody Rhodes. Everyone else got their start in NXT. Actually, Finn Balor technically didn't. Technically, Balor did, but he had competed in Japan. Priest was in Ring of Honor. JD McDonough was on the independent scene outside the US. So, in a way, yes, but their WWE careers, if you will, is what I was referencing. But again, all 10 of these men combined, more than 50 championships. Excuse me. And this was chaotic. Absolutely chaotic. Chairs came into play. Tables came into play. Kendo sticks came into play. This was chaos all over the place. And literally right as Randy Orton was about to come out, Rhea Ripley comes in with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Backfired. Randy Orton steps up, and everything comes to pass. But not only that, we saw the damnedest RKO we had ever seen ever. JD McDonough got hit with an RKO while flying from the top of War Games. And that proves that JD McDonough took the bullet for the entire team. But let's be real, because we thought we thought that Randy Orton was gonna attack Jey Uso, but Jey Uso kicked the head off of, I think, Dominic Mysterio with a super kick, proving to Randy Orton, hey, shit's changed. Shit's changed. I apologize for everything. And Cody Rhodes hit Damian Priest with Crossroads to pick up the victory for his own team. But that wasn't it. We even also saw, after 10 years, we heard the song of Living Color, Cult of Personality, which only meant one thing: CM Punk. Honestly, though, I think this will be interesting because Punk had done things in both of his runs in WWE that you would least expect. So, will the third time be the charm for CM Punk? Only time will tell. But but let's be real. This is gonna be one hell of a journey for CM Punk. There is new talent on both Raw and SmackDown. There's talent that he has faced in the past that he's probably more than happy to tango with, including Cody Rhodes, including Randy Orton, including Jey Uso, including Roman Reigns of all people. So this will be interesting. But if I was facing if I met CM Punk face to face, the best advice I would give him is don't make the same mistakes you made when you were in WWE last, because the backstage heat, the backstage brawls, that can get your ass fired from WWE. So Punk had better be ready, because this is going to be one hell of a journey for him. But War Games itself, the men's War Games, 5 stars easy. This was probably by far, this War Games match topped last year's men's War Games match. And ironically enough, as I said, just because you gain the advantage for War Games doesn't mean that you're actually going to win. The women's War Games match may have been one thing, but the men's War Games match, it did not matter. Judgment Day was able to lose, and this proves that, here's the thing, because that Cody Rhodes pinned Damian Priest, that means that both him and Jey Uso can challenge Balor and Priest for the Undisputed Tag Team titles one more time, and then that's it. Is it possible? Absolutely, but only time will tell. But the card itself, aside from the Santos Escobar Dragon Lee match, everything else was absolutely incredible, absolutely insane. It's Chicago. You can never go wrong with a premium live event in Chicago. I'm giving this one 4 stars. This was absolutely incredible. But let me know down in the comments below your thoughts on Survivor Series and what could be next for WWE moving forward. Because now that Survivor Series is in the record books, we now move into NXT Deadline, and Deadline is going to be a hell of a show. So get ready for that one, guys. But with that being said, that will do it for this week's episode of WWE's Biggest Issue. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It'll also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.